Now we are discussing the third part of normative ethics, that is teleological ethics. The first one was virtue ethics, second one deontological, and the third one teleological. Now, in case of deontological, we studied that there were two dimensions. What were those two dimensions? If we just recall, the first one was non-consequentialist approach. Okay, it was non-consequentialist approach, and the second dimension was that it believes that there are certain standards of behavior. Okay, so in the same way, teleological ethics also has two dimensions, but the difference is that these two dimensions are exactly opposite to that of deontology. If deontology is saying that it is a non-consequentialist approach, then here the first dimension becomes it is a consequentialist approach. The second statement of, or we can say second dimension of deontology, is that it believes that there are moral standards. So here teleology says that there are no moral standards. Okay, so let us discuss them one by one. So if you have studied those two dimensions clearly, then these dimensions are exactly same but opposite, so very well understood. So let us just recap. So if it is saying it is a consequentialist approach, it implies that it is relating to consequences, the final outcome of your action. Okay, so what is the statement? An action is treated ethical if it leads to ethical outcomes. If it leads to ethical outcomes. So very simple. You have to decide whether your action is ethical or not. This is the purpose of studying normative ethics. So teleology is saying that you have to just focus on the outcomes, the consequence. If your end result or consequence or outcome are ethical, then your action is ethical. Very simple. So ethical outcomes, only this term we have to understand. The other word or statement of saying this is a very short phrase that you can always remember, that and justifies means. We can always remember this term. Whenever teleology word comes, you have to just recall this phrase and justified means. The end product, the final outcome, if it is good, then you can justify your action, your means. Means implies what type of action you are using to finally achieve that end. So if end is good, you can always justify your means, that means also becomes good. So we can also say in other word that deontology does not say this. We can say that deontology does not permit the statement like and justified means. So what it will say and do not justify your means. Even if your end is good, you cannot justify your means, your action. But here it is saying if your end is good, then your means are also good. This is the main difference. So we can take an example to understand this. A civil servant bending the rules to help some needy person is considered unethical. Okay, so what is happening here? There is a civil servant. You will also become a civil servant if you pass UPS examination. So if a civil servant is bending the rules, there are some rules prescribed by the government, but the civil servant is not following this. He is following some rule but ignoring some rule. He is bending the rules. But why he is bending? He is bending to help some needy person. So if this type of action is done by some civil servant, then as per teleological ethics, the action of civil servant will be considered as ethical. It will not be considered as unethical. Okay, so we can take an example. Suppose there is a scheme which is launched by government, and this scheme helps in let's say healthcare protection. Okay, and there is a very poor person who needs some medical treatment, but the rule says that there should be some documents that must be verified. A person must have Aadhaar card, a person must have some proof of below poverty line card. Only then you can avail this medical facility. So if that person approaches a civil servant and civil servant sees that yeah, he actually needs the medical treatment, and he is satisfied that yes, he is actually belong to a very poor category and he does not have money, but he cannot show the documents. he has not he does not have Aadhaar card like this, then he is permitting the person to be applicable for medical treatment. So here what he is doing, he is approving the person without the document, but the rule says that you must produce the document, only then you can avail the facility. So here civil servant is bending the rule, but why is bending the rule? To help that needy person. He actually need that medical treatment, so the end result will be good for that person, for the society, but the action that he is taking cannot be considered as legal, cannot be considered as legal. Focus my word, cannot be considered legal. But theology will be say that the action by civil servant is ethical because the end outcome will help the needy person. Okay, so I hope you have understood this consequentialist approach. Now what is the second dimension? Very simple, opposite of what deontology is saying. Deontology says that there are certain set moral obligations, some moral standards. But here, theology says that it believes that there are no standards of ethical conduct or behavior. There is no such thing as standard behavior, standard conduct, standard action, or simple term, there are no moral obligations. Okay, so this is the main difference. Deontology was saying that there are certain ethical standards that everyone can follow. So here it is saying that every human thought, conduct, or behavior has to be interpreted in the light of the outcomes to decide whether it is ethical or not. Okay, so this is related to the first only. There are no such thing as ethical conduct. Let me take an example that the conduct of violence, if we talk about this, so deontology will say that if your action is a violent action, then automatically it will be called as unethical conduct. But here theology will say that you cannot directly say that the conduct of violence is ethical or not. You have to relate it with the outcomes. You have to see that or interpret that action in the light of outcomes. Only then we can decide whether it is ethical or not. So there are no set ethical standards of behavior. These are do's, these are don'ts. No such thing like that in case of theological ethics. Okay, so I hope you have understood theological ethics very clearly. Now further, in theology there are different type of branches, same as in the case of deontology. So now we'll discuss them one by one. Thank you.